to the channel, and if you're new here, thanks so much for joining. My name is Misty and I am bringing you another episode of our Drifter Legacy series. And today we have a lot going on in the sense that we have a very sad Adelaide, as she is mourning the loss of a friend, and it has her as mourning for 7 days. And so we are most likely going to have a little bit of difficulty dealing with doing anything for her in the progression of her meeting some skills or aspirations or anything like that, because she is just really having a hard time of it. On top of that, we are back home from our vacation due to the fact that we did have to cut it early for that simple fact of her mourning the loss of this friend as well. And so we are going to be just seeing her in this day in, day out, trying to get over the loss of her friend. On top of that, we have Iris, who is sad because of sharing the lingering sadness of being around someone that is sad, because she has this shared sadness. So she's sad also just because she's around her mom and her mom is sad. But let's go ahead and jump in and push play here and just see how our family's getting on. Now, we do know when we left off in the last episode, we had been on vacation and Adelaide and Advaith had been doing a little bit of a woohoo in the woods, and we were hoping that they were going to be able to get pregnant, but unfortunately it does look like there is no option to try for a pregnancy test on the toilet here. And so I am going to say that they were unsuccessful in their endeavors to go ahead and try to have a baby. And so that is another thing that Adelaide is going to be able to be sad about. We are going to say that she's also sad because she's unable to conceive. And so unfortunately they are unable to have another child, and Iris is going to be an only child in our story. And I think Adelaide would be really sad about the fact that she's unable to have another child. We know that she did want to have another baby. She was wanting to expand the family. She wanted Iris to have a sibling, and I think she would be really sad about the fact that she's unable to have another baby. And you know, she is just trying to get her skill in herbalism up, but she's just having so much trouble focusing on really anything right now with the sadness that she has from the loss of her friend, and now the added sadness of being unable to conceive. She really is just distraught currently right now, and she's unable to really focus on anything. She's unable to really do anything other than just really cry and just feel the loss around her at such a horrendous level. And her life, she just feels, is just spiraling all around her. She doesn't know why she is unable to conceive. This is the second time she's tried to conceive a child and has been unsuccessful. You know, obviously they got lucky with Iris when they were able to conceive Iris, and she was able to carry Iris to term, and clearly Iris is a little bit of a miracle baby for them, because she is unable to have any more kids. And so really she should count her blessings where Iris is concerned, but she was really upset with the fact that she's unable to have any more children. So we know that Iris is going to be a very spoiled little girl. I think that at some point Adelaide is going to sit down with Iris and just ask Iris, you know, how she feels about being an only child. Like, do you want to have siblings? And just see where Iris's head is about that, because I think Adelaide has this in her head that, oh, I had a sibling, I had a twin, and having a sibling is something that, you know, she wants Iris to experience, but maybe Iris is content with just being an only child, and maybe this is something that she's putting on Iris that Iris doesn't feel in the first place. And if that's the case, maybe it will help ease some of her sadness, knowing that Iris is okay just being Iris here in this house by herself. And if Iris is okay with being an only child, maybe Adelaide will have some of that pressure taken off of her. Obviously, she still wants to be a mother of multiple children, and she can't have multiple children. But if she doesn't feel the pressure to have more children for Iris's sake, I'm hoping that will help ease some of her stress. So I am just going to get her out here dealing with her garden some. Maybe it will help get her mood improved a little bit. And we will get her going around the neighborhood and seeing if there's anything in the neighborhood that she can scavenge and, you know, pick up, dig, things like that. We know the drill. So as you can see, we do have quite a bit of money in our account, and I don't think she's going to be traveling back to Granite Falls for quite some time due to the fact that she does have this lingering sadness for this morning. So because of that, I think what I'm going to do in this episode is go ahead and put some of this money into the house and see if we can get the house worth up a little bit. So I think in this episode I'm going to put in a new stove and refrigerator and probably give the living room an upgrade. And so you'll see the living room and the kitchen change a little bit, and we'll get some new appliances in the kitchen and get some new living room stuff. And I'm just slowly going to start putting in new pieces that are worth a little bit more money so that we can hopefully get the house to be worth a little bit more money as we go along. Before we know it, hopefully this house will be worth $40,000. So currently right now she is just going around the neighborhood. She is digging up the things that need to be dug up, harvesting everything in her area, and you know, she is trying to put herself in a little bit better of a mood, but unfortunately it doesn't seem that anything she does is really improving the mood that she's currently in, which is really unfortunate because, as we know, it is vital that she does improve her herbalism for her aspiration. So we do know that she completed the first step of her outdoor enthusiast aspiration, which was to harvest 10 unidentified plants as well as to catch 5 fish in Granite Falls, which she did do. And now she has to reach level 4 of herbalism, and there are some things that she has to do as far as cooking with bugs and things like that. And those things we will need to do once we have to go back to Granite Falls. But for now, we just have to get her reaching her herbalism up, and I am going to try to get her to read the herbalism book, and hopefully her skill will go up that way. But right now she's just really struggling with being able to keep her attention focused on reading or doing anything long term. So after she goes ahead and gathers some things in the area, I think I'm going to take her out on a jog and see if that maybe improves her mood. She does enjoy going out on a jog and getting some fitness in, so maybe that will help her improve herself a little bit. So let's go ahead and send Adelaide out on a little bit of a run and see if that maybe gets her in a little bit better frame of mind. Sometimes going for a jog to clear your mind is a little bit healthy for your mental health, and maybe this might help get her a little bit energized, maybe get some things off of her chest. You know, just get her to where she's like, okay, I'm feeling so much better. It's not obviously going to take away the loss that she feels for not being able to conceive a child. It's not going to be able to take away the loss of her dear friend, but maybe it will just make her feel a little bit better to have some fresh air and to have a little bit of blood flowing through her veins, and just to feel overall better because she was outside in the air and active. It doesn't look like it's helping though. Unfortunately, I was really hoping it was gonna like turn her mood around, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Nothing is really working for her. She is truly, truly sad. I mean, she's glad she went and had a workout done, but she is just really, really sad. I'm gonna go ahead and let her continue on with collecting some things, but it does look like every chance she gets, she wants to just go into the house and go and hide in bed and cry it out. So this episode is definitely a sad one. She has so much grief that she is dealing with, and she doesn't really know exactly how she is supposed to feel or how she's supposed to get rid of all of this grief that she has. The only thing she knows is that she feels so much despair right now, and there's not really anyone that she can talk to about it. I mean, yes, she has Advaith, and yes, she can talk to him, but he didn't really know her friend, and yes, she can obviously talk to him about the baby, but it is going to be a little bit different. Like, obviously, you know, he would probably just tell her, well, honey, we can just keep trying for more kids. And I think obviously they could keep trying for more kids, but I think her problem with that is, how many times are they going to keep trying, and is she going to continue to fail at conceiving before, you know, she realizes that this just isn't working? And how many failed attempts is she going to have, and how many times is she going to be let down? And she doesn't want to continue to feel that pain over and over and over again. So I think she was thinking, we'll try one more time, and if it doesn't work, then I'm just going to say, obviously it's not meant to be, and I'm going to give up. And that's kind of where she's at. I think she wants to maybe talk to Iris first and see how Iris feels about siblings before she makes any more plans to talk to Advaith and decide if they want to try again for a third time. She doesn't want to just make these plans without getting Iris's input. Obviously, having another child involves the entire family, not just her and Advaith, and you know, they had made this decision to go ahead and try again really without talking to Iris in the first place. And she thought, well, maybe I should go ahead and talk to Iris and see how Iris feels. Maybe Iris doesn't want a sibling. Maybe Iris doesn't care to have anyone else in the family. So she is going to go ahead and go on in here and talk to Iris and just say to Iris, you know, Dad and I had, you know, tried to, you know, have another baby, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. But how do you feel about having a sibling? You know, do you maybe want to have a sibling? And Mom and Dad would really like to give you a sibling if that's what you want, but we don't want, obviously, to, like, we don't know how you feel about it. So could you just let us know how you feel about it? Like, obviously this is important to us, but how do you feel? And I think Iris would be like, well, Mom, you know, I really actually like our life the way it is, and I really don't necessarily want any more siblings. You know, I am happy like it is. I don't want a new sibling. And I think Adelaide is a little shocked by that information, and she is really not knowing what to say, because I think in her mind everybody would want a sibling, and she doesn't know what to say about that, because I think part of her was really thinking she was going to talk to Advaith and just be like, hey, let's try again for another baby. We were unsuccessful. And now she knows that Iris doesn't want a sibling, and she's like, oh, well, Iris wants to be an only child, and if we were to go ahead and have another baby, then Iris is going to be upset, and I don't want Iris upset. I mean, obviously it's not Iris's decision if they have another child or not, but at the same time it does affect the entire family, and so her opinion is important to Adelaide. And so Adelaide's like, well, I'm not going to upset Iris, and you know, I don't want to upset her. I don't want to make her feel like, you know, this talk that we had wasn't important and just ignore her and do what I want anyway. So she is going to take her opinion and her feelings into consideration, and she's going to take those, you know, this conversation very seriously, and she's not going to go ahead and try again for another baby with Advaith. She is going to respect Iris's wishes to be an only child, and we are going to not try for another baby with this family, and Iris is going to be an only child, and she's going to be bloody spoiled rotten, and that's perfectly fine. She is, as you can see, just come out here to kind of relax a little bit and get a little bit of fishing in. She is really feeling sad by the whole outcome of the news. She doesn't really know how to take it. She is pretty shocked by the entire afternoon's events. She is, you know, letting those two get themselves a nap, and she's just thinking about everything that was said. She is just replaying the entire conversation in her head, and quite shocked by the fact that someone wouldn't want a sibling, because she doesn't know what she would have done without Rebel growing up. You know, they are obviously so close, but there's a difference between having a sibling and having a twin bond. And I think that's where she doesn't understand. Like, Iris is a little bit older now. It's not like she's a toddler. She's a child now. So having a baby in the house when you're a child is a little bit more of a nuisance than if you're, you know, a younger age. To Iris now, it would be really a kind of a nuisance to have a screaming newborn in the house. So they are going to respect those wishes. And as you can see, Advaith is just going ahead and helping himself to a little bit of food here. He is a little bit hungry. Adelaide has gone ahead and taken herself a little bit of a nap. And we have Iris, who is up, and she's just watching a little bit of television and speaking with her dad here. They're just having a little bit of a conversation across the room here, and she is just asking for a little bit of advice, and they're talking about school and things like that. And he's just asking her, you know, how she's been doing with school. He's complimenting her on her personality and how, you know, he thinks that she having that conversation with her mom was really grown up, how he is really happy that she was able to have that conversation. He knows that it was really difficult for her to be honest with her mom, you know, about how she feels, knowing that her mom was sad about the fact that she wasn't able to have a baby, but that she was able to really just tell her, look, I don't really want another sibling. Like, I don't want to have a sister or a brother. I just want it to be me. And Iris is like, well, why would I not tell her that truth? Like, I don't actually want a brother or a sister, and I don't want you guys having one. And if I don't tell her that, then you guys are going to have another baby, and I don't want another baby. So Iris is like, I'm not scared to tell you guys how I feel. And Advaith is like, yeah, but I love that about you, because a lot of kids wouldn't do that. And she's like, well, I'm not a lot of kids, I'm me. So as you can see, everyone is feeling the way that they feel about this scenario, and Advaith is feeling really proud of Iris. Adelaide, on the other hand, is still just a little bit shocked, I think. She's overall really feeling the feelings that she's feeling. She's having to process her loss in this whole situation. And so she is really just at a point where she's not really sure how she feels, because she has to feel the loss as well. You know, it's a little bit different when you are not the person that has to, you know, carry a baby or not get to carry a baby for that matter. And so she's feeling the feelings a little bit differently than Advaith is. And he's just like, well, you know, it is what it is. And she's like, yeah, but like I really wanted this and it's not happening. And so she's really upset by this news, and he's just like, it is fine, you know, it is what it is. We are the family that we are, and he's happy with the way things happen to be as well. So I think moving forward, everything will be fine, and Adelaide will come around, and if this sadness goes away, she will be good. It's just currently right now she is feeling a little bit lost. So currently right now I am going to go ahead and just replace their stove and give them a bit of an upgrade here. We're going to get them a little bit more of an expensive stove. As I said, we want to go ahead and upgrade. And so I am going to go ahead and get them this Munch stove. It is significantly more expensive, I realize that, but I do want this house to be a little bit more worth a little bit more, and so we have to get their appliances upgraded. So I did get them a bit more of an expensive stove here. And I'm going to send Advaith off and let him get a jog in, because he's feeling pretty energized, so I'm just going to let him go ahead and get a jog while he's in a great mood here. And as you can see, Adelaide is still pretty sad, so she's going to go ahead and just cry it out here in the bed. And then we will go ahead and hopefully we'll see some of that sadness go down. I may have her go ahead and call the sadness hotline in a little while and see if that helps with some of her sadness as well. She is just researching her plants a little bit. Hopefully this will help with her sadness as well. She is really struggling, as you can see. But I'm going to have her come on in here this morning. It is bright and early, and we will get her cooking up a little bit of breakfast. She is just going to serve up some breakfast here. As you can see, Iris is already up and she's helped herself to some leftovers that were in the fridge. And so she is just having a little bit of breakfast already, but I want Adelaide to go ahead and cook up something so that there is some food that will be available in the fridge, so that there are always leftovers available. So she's just going to make up some quick breakfast here while she has a conversation with Iris. So as you can see, they are just having a little bit of a conversation over her cooking breakfast, and she is asking how she slept, and Iris is like, I slept really well. How did you sleep? And she's like, oh, I slept fine, love. You know, I'm just trying to get over the sadness of my friend passing away and everything that's going on. But overall, it was a pretty good night's rest. I'm just really feeling out of sorts currently right now. I'm hoping that I'm going to bounce back and be back to my old self really soon. And Iris is like, I'm sure everything is going to be okay, Mom. I know that it's really sad. I can't even imagine what it's like to lose a friend. I really am sorry that you're having to go through that. And Adelaide's like, Iris, you're such a sweet girl. You really are. And so she's just going to go ahead and have herself a little bit of breakfast here while Iris cleans up her breakfast mess. Iris is so helpful around the house, which we freaking love. And as you can see, she's just having herself a little bit of French toast. And she's having a little bit of French toast while she cries a little bit and sighs, and you know, is just feeling really forlorn, truly just has so much bloody despair. Like, she is so upset. The poor dear, I can't even get over how much sadness she has. We've got her mourning down to 3 days time, and that is because she has been crying it out like crazy, and she's been calling the sadness hotline. So we do have her mourning down to 3 days time, which is great. But it's still 3 days worth of sadness and mourning that she's going to have to go through. And unfortunately, I can't get her to do a whole lot of her aspiration stuff while she is mourning. So I am going to go ahead and just get Advaith to come out here and deal with our garden because it is in shambles. It needs to be harvested, and we need to do some weeding and things like that. Oh, it looks like Adelaide wants to come out and do some weeding. So we'll have her get the weeding done while he does the harvesting. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and have Adelaide come back out here and go fishing again. It does seem that she does enjoy fishing lately, and it seems to be a little bit cathartic for her. So I am going to have her go ahead and get a little bit of fishing in. I think also I'm going to have Iris go out and do a little bit of fishing, and they can bond together over the fishing, which will be lovely. I love the fact that Iris also enjoys fishing, and so I think after everyone, like after he gets the gardening done, he can go fishing as well, and they can go fishing as a family. You know what they say about fishing. A family that fishes together stays together. Do they say that? I don't freaking know if they say that or not, but I just said that. A family that fishes together stays together. So they're going to come out here, the 3 of them, and they're all going to fish together, and it's going to be the cutest thing ever. But guys, I think I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here while they are fishing here, looking like the cutest thing ever. And we love this for us. And in our next episode, hopefully Adelaide will be over her sadness, and we will be able to go ahead and move forward with some progression on our aspiration. But I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.